All right, long story short, man, I just found out that you could actually smoke with a corn cob. I'm talking about corn on the cob. Yeah, that corn cob. And I'm getting ready to try it right now and let you know what happens. You're gonna see me trying this for the first time. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Let's get into it. One of the things that I kept seeing when I was doing research about smoking with a corn cob is that it produces a rather intense smoke, so you have to be careful. Apparently it's a very sweet tasting smoke, but it's definitely easy to use too much of it. Here's my cob. This is what I'm about to put on the charcoals, but instead of using the whole thing, I'm actually gonna cut this in half. These are only gonna be on for about an hour, maybe less, and brats are gonna absorb smoke very readily, so I really don't think I'm gonna need the whole thing. So I'm just gonna cut this thing in half, put half on there. We'll see how it goes. So right away, I'm noticing that I don't see any smoke happening right away as I would if I had a piece of wood. So I'm gonna have to watch this a few minutes. I don't want it to start smoking after I put my meat on. So I'm gonna watch this a couple of minutes and see what happens. Very much a learning experience right now, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, I'm starting to see a little light smoke, very light. I like this. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes to make sure it doesn't get thick on me, and then I'm gonna put my brats on. Just checking my grill again, and I don't really see any smoke coming out of here right now, so I think I better go ahead and put that other half on. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Just set that one right over there. Got my brats all lined up. All right, let's put the lid on, see what happens. All right, so I put the other cob on and waited a few minutes. I still don't see very much smoke, but I just had to remind myself, hey man, that's not wood. It's gonna act a little different. Just because I'm not seeing a lot of smoke coming out of there doesn't mean I'm not getting a lot of smoke flavor. But I guess when people were saying that it's gonna be an intense flavor, I was looking for intense smoke. It's not necessarily gonna be the case. All right, so let's come back in about 30, 45 minutes. We'll check on them in. All right, so right away, I don't see much color even though it's been almost 40 minutes. If I was using a piece of wood, I think I would probably see some color right now. But looking at my cob here, it's definitely smoking. So we're just gonna keep going, man. I'll tell you what I am gonna do though. See that little wrinkling right there? Seeing some of that going on. I'm gonna get a water pan and put it in here. We may be getting a little drying out happening here, I'm not sure. But a water pan couldn't hurt. All right, y'all, so there they are. I'm gonna let these sit here and rest for a little bit, let the juices calm down, and then we'll give it a taste. All right, my brats are off. They've rested a little bit, so let me go ahead and taste this thing. See what we got. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really taste very much. If I'm tasting something, it's very faint. I only had one cob, but I thought that would be enough for an hour-long cook like this. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. You know, smoke settles in overnight and the flavor is more intense the next day. All right, man, so it's the next day. I really didn't want to close this video out without giving this a full evaluation, so I had to see what happens the next day, and as I expected, the flavor did settle in more the next day. But it's not a smoky flavor. It's a sweet flavor, but it's not a smoky flavor. And I don't know, for me, that it's a flavor that would stand on its own. I think it would be a very unique thing if you combined it with a wood flavor of your choice. Maybe a fruit wood like apple or cherry. As a matter of fact, I was able to find one video on YouTube where somebody actually used this stuff in a real cook, and they combined cherry wood and the cob. In that cook, they used 3 of them. I could see this being something that adds a unique flavor that nobody can tell what it is, you know? Like if you do some ribs or a brisket or something like that, and you do it how you do it, use the wood you like to use, but then you add some of this cob wood, and I can see people tasting it and going, you know, what is that? What is that I taste? I can't put my finger on it. If you want to save up some to use and just have on hand, you're gonna have to dry it out. You can't just throw this in a Ziploc bag or something like that, because it'll develop mold. So it's gonna have to dry. You're probably gonna have to put it on a cooling rack or something like that and have them in the fridge. For me personally, by itself, it's not a flavor that I found pleasing enough to stand alone. All right, this has been a lot of fun though. Either way it goes, it's been a lot of fun. Ain't none of them brats going to waste, I tell you that. All right, y'all, peace out.